I just saw an article on Tube Filter. I'm going to pull it up here in just a second. That Sam Altman wants to build his own X platform. He wants to have his own version of Twitter. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what that means for us. I also want to talk about just AI slop in general and how you can take advantage of it, / how you should treat it, how you should avoid it, or why you should be concerned about it. And what all of this means for the future of advancement in human technology, thought, ideologies, etc., etc. You guys, today's been a really weird day. It's been a weird week. Last couple of weeks, I haven't been feeling quite right. I got to go check and see where my vitamin doses are off. I'm sure that there's something floating around in the air. I probably need magnesium or vitamin C or something like that to just get my energy levels back up and my spirits back up. We've had a very high momentum last couple of weeks in the business. A lot of things are going on. As you guys know, I got this, maybe you guys know, did I announce it here? I got this deal with TubeBuddy. I'm creating content on their YouTube channel now a couple times a month. We're also doing some other cool things behind the scenes with TubeBuddy, which is a huge deal for our business. It's also a massive advancement towards the goal of getting to 8 figures. It puts a lot of mental pressure on me, though, which is something I'm not quite prepared for. My ADHD brain is looking for quick dopamine hits, and a lot of these things require me to settle down and really focus, which gives me some anxiety. And you guys who are ADHDers probably understand this, can empathize with it. Now, if you're brand new here and you're wondering, why the heck am I talking about all this stupid stuff? Welcome to the channel. My goal on this channel is to talk to you guys about the thoughts that are going through my head as I'm building my business from 7 figures to 8 figures. I'm sharing all of the ups, downs, and in between, all of the successes and fails, and all of the education and learnings that I am getting and that I have already learned, that I've already received, downloaded from the ether, from God, from wherever it's coming from, that has gotten me to where I am today. I'm sharing all of that stuff with you on this channel. I'm also sharing with you the things that are taking me to that next level. And so sometimes it's an emotional, mentally taxing up and down type of a ride, but that is the ride of entrepreneurship. So if you can empathize, relate, and you're game for that type of an approach to business success, life in general, content in general, you found a good home, and I welcome you here. And if not, you don't have to stay. I'm not going to make you stay. You're good to go. All right. So today I'm talking about artificial intelligence because it's literally on my mind all day, every day. I was watching a podcast this morning. What's the guy's name? I've lost it. Anyway, it was a podcast about UFOs and conspiracies and life on Mars and all sorts of stuff. It was actually really, really good, very interesting stuff that's backed up by a lot of good evidence. The gentleman who was being interviewed was talking, however, about how he has this theory, and it's backed up by some science, that dark matter is actually information that is floating around us. It has a density, but it has no form. It is there, but we cannot see it or observe it. It is information, organized information that has been processed through millions of years of intelligent life, thinking, learning, doing, computing. And he talked about how there is a density associated with information. And he said that if you took all of the information in the world right now, everything that has been put onto computers, it weighs less than a kilogram, that amount of information. When you think about it, it's kind of weird, right? Information like thought, learning, just education that's floating around because it is energy, it has mass, it has form, and it's very, very small, minuscule, but it does have a mass to it. Again, bear with me here. And some of you guys might know more about this than I do. And if you have any resources where I can learn more about this stuff, I'm super fascinated. Now I got hooked. I watched a 3-hour podcast because I was so hooked on it. But he said the rate at which we are learning, the rate at which we're computing, the rate at which we are creating information, the density of this information over the course of the next 300 years, the information will be as dense as the moon. It will have a mass the size of the moon and create its own gravitational pull. It sounds so whack when I say it. So I'm going to stop there because you guys are probably like rolling your eyes at this point. But this is crazy stuff we're talking about here. So this is another reason why I'm like, well, I think that like intuitively, I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Maybe just another concern, another AI concern that I have like at an intuitive level. Very fascinating stuff. So how does this relate to OpenAI, Sam Altman saying, I want to have the next X platform? Well, it doesn't. I mean, it does in the sense it's like, cool, just another thing. But at the same time, I think that it just kind of, everything kind of like fuels, it all creates its own energy. So as I'm reading about this, I'm thinking, oh, great, more information, another social media platform to try and jump on, more data that is skewed, more AI slop that is just spewed to the world. If you guys aren't familiar with the term AI slop, basically what it means is it's just AI created content just for the sake of creating content. Sometimes it's created for the sake of, I'd say, like psyops or political motivation or propaganda, right? If you can create 100 million pieces of content that are pro-Trump and release them on the internet, then you can gain momentum. You can start to influence and have an impact on people who are seeing those things. If you do a whole bunch of anti-Hillary stuff, you have a impact on people. I mean, remember, go back 8 years and we're talking about fake news. Remember all the stuff that all the fake news articles that would come out, and then everybody would jump on and they'd be like, share, 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 especially the generations that weren't as familiar with content and GIFs and memes and fake articles. And they would never believe that someone from a website or blog could write something that was fake. If you guys haven't read Ryan Holiday's, oh my gosh, what is it called? Ryan Holiday's book about getting your. It's a book about going viral with blogs and how you get your blogs picked up by like CNN. It is a fascinating read, but it's actually really simple to write a fake news article and get major distribution for it across the internet because nobody's really checking these things. There's so much information, bits, data that is floating around. They're looking for the stuff that will get the most viral clicks. So again, this is the definition of slop. And there's a lot of people who are looking at slop and they're spotting opportunities, right? Think about it specifically with like AI created content. If you create a piece of content with artificial intelligence and it has no humanity in it, AI has created a video, you're taking credit for it, you're posting it, you make a little bit of money. Well, guess what? Now you're going to go and tell 5 of your friends. They're also going to go and download a software. They're going to do their own AI slop. They're going to try it. And then all of a sudden it spreads like a wildfire because humans are creatures of the path of least resistance. People like the easy button. They like the thought that all they've got to do is click a button and then they can make money from YouTube or from social media. And that is dangerous. That is where we run into this dead internet theory or the idea that AI will be responding to AI and we'll be creating the content and creating the comments and there won't be humans existing on social media anymore because it's all artificial intelligence. That's where things get a little bit weird. So relating this all back to Sam Altman wanting to have his own X platform, what does that even look like? I mean, at least Twitter, X, started before Grok did. And so people became familiar. They were already familiar with how to create content and engage with content on Twitter before he released Grok. Now, Grok enhances what people are doing on Twitter. But if Sam Altman creates OpenAI X, right? They're not going to call it that. That'd be really dumb. He'd get himself sued again and again and again. But if Sam Altman creates this off the back of AI, I'm getting so freaking annoyed with my Slack going off right now. It's clicking. So I'm gonna turn this down because I'm just like it's pissing me off. Uh, what is happening? Yeah, we got things blowing up in the business right now, right at the end of the day too. 4:45. Sam Altman creates OpenAI with the intention of it starting with ChatGPT backing the content that you're creating. We're the ability to create an original thought, write, structure sentences grammatically correct, is going to just go out the window. Because, I mean, even with, and I don't want to like rant too much on tech because like tech has gotten us where we're at, and it's an amazing time. But I mean, even like look at like autocorrect on your phone. Like people don't even know how to spell because the autocorrect just takes care of it. It's like, does the I come before the E? Well, it doesn't matter because autocorrect will fix it for you. Same with Microsoft Word and in email now. So what does that say for humans? This guy kind of goes back to that video that I made a couple months ago about humans peaking at the beginning of this century and how we've just kind of been on a downward slope ever since because technology has made us lazy. It has eliminated our need for critical thought, our need for memorization of anything, our need for whatever. I mean, I had a comment on this channel a couple months ago from a doctor who's like, I have artificial intelligence review all of my x-rays and do all of my reports. And, you know, he was trying to make the point that AI is not scary. And I was like, homie, you're a doctor. You're just working your way out of a business, bruh. Like working your way out of a doctorship, working your way out of your license. He's like, and his whole thing was like, I can go home and spend time with my kid. And I'm like, cool. I'm all about, being with your family, but holy crap. If artificial intelligence is doing your job for you, I don't know. Maybe I probably trust, I definitely trust artificial intelligence more than I do Western medical doctors at this point. But the point is like there is room need to be concerned about what's happening. And I don't know. You know, I've got faith. I know that we're all going to be all right, but I also am just like, what do I need to do to stay ahead of the curve? What do I need to do to stay on the ball? And I think that you guys should be thinking about that as well. Sam Altman's thing here. Let me just read this article to you real fast. Let's see here. Screen share. Here we go. All right. OpenAI wants more training data. So that's the thing. It wants people to use the platform so it can be trained better. When people say they wanted an alternative to Twitter, when people said that they wanted an alternative to Twitter, now that it's been Xified, this probably wasn't what they meant. ChatGPT, DALL-E, and Sora owner OpenAI is apparently building its own social media network to compete with Elon Musk's site. The Verge reports that OpenAI co-founder Sam Altman has been privately asking for feedback of the project, but he's also not so privately floated the idea back in February. Blah blah blah. Oh, it'd be really fun. If Facebook tries to come at us, we'll just do it in reverse them. It'd be so funny. Sam Altman, you guys, just gives me the creeps. I think that guy's weird. Elon, gives me the willies too, but not like Sam. He's got a dead look in his eyes. It's weird. It's kind of creepy. So let's see here. Since ChatGPT first appeared on the internet, OpenAI and other AI developers have faced scrutiny over where they source the data used to train their large language models, and it's becoming more difficult for them to simply take what they want. So, like, this is like the crux of the problem. Again, Sam Altman, like, who cares? Data's open to the internet. I mean, in reality, if you can train a computer to crawl the internet, then like there is no law against that. I don't think. Unless it's scraping data and then using it for nefarious purposes or to spam blast everybody. With platforms like Facebook and X, though, scraping permission can be baked into basic terms of service. So if people want to use these platforms, they're required to consent to pouring never-ending well of fresh meat into the AI grinder. So this is where, boom. This is where Elon, I think, is winning, and Sam is seeing that. Again, we're pawns in the billionaire game of chess. I'm just I'm just here, trying to learn as fast as I can so that way I can carve out my piece of the pie. And I highly recommend that you guys do too. All right, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about all of this? Leave it down in the comments. I know some of you guys kind of laugh at my worried mentality when it comes to artificial intelligence. I know a lot of you guys are feeling exactly the same way. So I want to hear from you. The good, the bad, the pros, the cons. Let's hear it. Dish it out in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.